Hey everyone, welcome back. Before I start this video, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for the amazing support, especially with the recent videos. Your comments, feedback, and thoughts continue to help motivate me to make the best content, and I'm incredibly grateful. With that, I really wanted to dedicate this video to everyone and answer a difficult yet reoccurring question asked to me by some viewers. The question is regarding art style and how does one go about developing it. Over the years, I've noticed that a lot of junior level artists and designers, beginners, and newcomers share something in common. They all face a problematic phase of discouragement. This discouragement is one of the primary reasons why people end up putting down their pencils before even getting started on anything. I want to start off by stating that doing art is not as easy as it sounds. There are real professions for people who choose to become artists, animators, illustrators, designers, and so on. Like any other profession, it takes a lot of hard work and time to be good at what you're doing. For the subject of art style and how to develop it, I broke it down into 4 groups. Let's start off with the first group, and that is the idea of patience. I've been doing art myself for almost 8 years, and I can tell you that I on and off had multiple phases of discouragement. There were many times that I just wanted to give up. I believe the core of this discouragement was me comparing myself with others. Before I entered art school, I did not have a strong background with basic art fundamentals. I did not have the knowledge, experience, and possibly the right mindset that many of my other colleagues had. Because of that, I ended up comparing myself with all of them, including my friends, colleagues, teachers, famous artists, and designers that I looked up to, and even people who were not even doing the same thing as me. Right at the start, I put myself at a high standard, one that I could not reach. I wanted success, and the people around me had a piece of it. Before I knew it, I started to compete with everyone. If someone did a watercolor painting, I said I could do it better. If someone designed a piece of furniture, I could do it better. If my professor, who has over 15 years of digital experience, published a cover for a magazine, I could do it better. At that time, I thought having this mindset was a good thing as it pushed me to try and experiment with new things. However, I realized later on that I focused on the final result rather than learning anything in the process. I was trying to imitate others. Individuals who invested so much time in fine-tuning their craft. Impatience and the need to achieve fast results is one of the main reasons that hold artists back earlier on in their creative career. It is easy to look at something that already exists and create something based on that, but you'll never understand the thought, research, technical experimentation, self-study, and time that went to create it. I say this because I was one of those people who looked for shortcuts in my early learning stages. I think this is a perfect time to go to my second point, and that is the idea of process. Art encompasses many different subjects such as mathematics that includes perspective, proportions, scales, architectural integrity, to name a few. It also includes physics. Look at any animated movie and see how a character moves, jumps, and behaves, respectively to the world of that movie. It includes biology like the anatomy of the human body, skeletal structure, muscle groups, and much more. There's also a cultural and social aspect because of their history and cultural evolution over time. Or look at the fashion and how people wear certain kind of clothing, jewelry, and makeup to push their identity and distinctiveness. Art and design is something people spend a lifetime understanding, researching, and exploring. Alongside impatience, we tend to skip that important aspect of our learning, and that is the process of exploring, experimenting, and failing. Let us go with an example of drawing a chair. Now, if you were to just jump into making a chair, we probably end up with something like image 1. Image 1 is not wrong at all. It is a chair, but that is all it will ever be. Just a chair. It lacks personality, individuality, expression, feeling, and depth. It serves its basic purpose, but no more. Now, let us go back and draw a chair, but this time establish an objective first. In this case, I really wanted to design a chair that a king would sit on. I referenced a lot of European furniture, specifically French, and incorporated it to the design. I played around with the shape of the chair and making certain features larger than it needs to be, while making it boxier. I also exaggerated the angles to break that structural consistency of the first chair. Refer to my video on shapes for more about these ideas. I then added more shapes and details to make it more decorative, yet not making it too symmetrical and breaking it apart a bit. Also, I gave a chair its own pillow. I feel comfort is something important for a king. With a simple objective and some small ideas, you can create something special. Look at some items or objects around you. Everything you see probably started off with a sketch or a design. Your pencil, your computer, the shape of your water bottle or cup, an abstract painting on the wall, the chair you're sitting on, the layout of your room, the designs on your clothes, the look and pose of an action figure. Every product you see around you started with someone thinking about it and drawing it out on a piece of paper. From that sketch, it evolved into something you can see, touch, feel, and having an emotional attachment or practical purpose. Process is an important aspect when developing your art style, as it will help you create your unique flavor of choices and decisions, which will affect your designs. Remember, this takes time to develop and practice. I want to further explain this idea with some works of art that I find inspirational, and I also wanted to find different styles of paintings, realist, abstract, and in between. But what if I told you that all these paintings that you're seeing were done by the same artist? These were all created by the famous artist Pablo Picasso. The image on the top left was one of his earlier works, while his cubist painting on the bottom right was his later work. Pablo Picasso is known for his amazing and iconic cubist style. What people don't often realize is that he started off like many other traditional artists and focusing on basic fundamentals. Because he had a solid foundation, he was able to break down everything into simple geometric shapes. The next point that I really want to talk about is regarding communication. When you're drawing something, does your intention get across? Let me demonstrate with some movies that I love. I stated the names for each animated film and series, and I highly recommend you go see it if possible. Please do keep in mind of the age rating. I picked these specific still images from each movie in order to demonstrate the different styles created by well-known animation studios. Look at the one from Studio Ghibli and see the overall shape of the characters, especially Yubaba. See how the designers made her facial features larger than life, like her nose and her eyes. Also, the amount of detail and information on her face helps push her expressiveness while providing an indication of motion. The extra lines on her face pushes the idea of age. Without even knowing her age, you can tell that she is an older character. Samurai Jack, on the other hand, is more graphic overall, and you can break down the character's form into big and dynamic shapes. The use of line is more angular and direct, which also gives the sense of force and power even though the character has a stagnant pose. The hard angles and edges really push the quality of danger that Samurai Jack emits. Then you have something like Adventure Time, where characters are not just simplified in overall shapes, but also missing certain features and details like simple black eyes and having no noses. The anatomy is also streamlined. Look at the character's arms and hands, for example. You can break it down into two simple lines, which gives this elastic quality, while the fingers on the hands look to have only 3 fingers, and not the 5 that normal human beings have. Avatar, however, is a stark contrast to the style of Adventure Time. Again, let's look at the arm structure in this image. You can clearly see that the animator wanted to show the realism of the human body, as it helps push the emotion and expression of the character. The attention to detail of the hand and the breakdown of the arm within proper proportions. You can identify the joints, muscle structure, and the body overlapping. Finally, here's a still from Ghost in the Shell. The image really speaks for itself. The attention to detail is strong and precise, and it needs to be because you're looking at something mechanical in nature. Not only does it focus on realism, it also captures the feeling of being mechanical. Pay attention to the use of lines and how they achieve this mechanical form. I'm showing you these examples to prove an idea that there's no one way to go about having an art style. These examples are from different amazing animated movies and series with a lot of people who worked on them. These people have the knowledge and the experience to understand what they're actually doing. Their work being distinctively different, yet having an aesthetic quality that we find interesting to look at. Remember, there's no correct way or right way to draw. There's only your way, and your way is always open to improving. I like to end this video with a final thought, and that is to be yourself. Art is a difficult thing to do, and not everyone can do it. As we go on in this series, I will be teaching you new ideas and tools when it comes to drawing, but I felt it was important to talk about art style in the very beginning. Art style to me is basically problem solving. Let's say you want to draw a tree, and you might have an idea of how to draw it, and usually it turns out like, again, the first image. To be honest, that's not wrong. That looks like a tree, but it will only ever be that. Simple and straightforward, which, in sometimes, that's all you need. But then you realize trees have different shapes, sizes, textures, branches, leaves, and so much more. When you have this knowledge and the tools of how to go about drawing it, you can solve the problem of how to make a tree in your own way. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to hearing back on your thoughts regarding this topic. Till then, see you in the next video. Bye bye.